Hello, my name is Ethan, and I'll be sharing with you guys my inspirational speech. So, if a stranger came up and asked you guys how to be happy, what would you tell them? If they asked you to explain them the guidelines on how to be happy, what would you say? Well, I can tell you that if this stranger were to come up and ask me these questions a couple of years ago, I would have had no answer. Like the late poet Oscar Wilde once said, with age comes wisdom, and I'm here to share with you guys what I've learned. Now don't worry, I'm not going to stand up here and promote some universal formula for happiness, because honestly, there just isn't one. What I will do is I'll share with you guys my life and the lessons I've learned from it. So before I begin, I want to share with you guys an idea. This idea is called the mimetic theory of desire, and it was pioneered by the late French polymath René Girard. Essentially what this idea claims is that we as humans are incapable of creating our own desires. We must look to our neighbors to see what it is that we should desire. You can think of this as the philosophical idea of keeping up with the Joneses. And this is how I lived my life for the first 18 or so years. So a little bit about myself. I'm the youngest child. I have an older sister and an older brother who are 4 and 2 years older than me respectively. So naturally I was closer with my brother because him and I were closer in age. And growing up, him and I always shared similar interests, hobbies, as well as friends. And my junior in high school, he was a freshman in college at ASU. He decided he would join a fraternity, and with me being the copycat younger brother that I was, I decided I would join a fraternity as well. So when the time came, I did join a fraternity, and it ended up being his. So I was in this fraternity for about 2.5 years, and through this time, I came to be known as the Little Clark, because my last name is Clark, and my older brother was obviously Clark. And this just goes to show that my life up until this point was simply an extension of his. Like I was always tied to him, and I don't want that anymore. So after some time, I had this realization, which is what I just mentioned, and I decided I would drop my fraternity and I would create an identity for myself. So looking back on this decision, which was 2 years ago, I can confidently say that this was the best decision I've ever made. Now I am much happier, I am my own person, and I live for myself. So to tie this back into the initial stranger's hypothetical questions in the beginning about happiness, I'll explain what my answer to happiness is. And first, I will explain what happiness is not. So happiness is not going out and getting drunk with your friends. It's not getting that A+ in the test you studied so hard for. It's not buying your dream car. It's not getting the perfect house. Now, don't get me wrong. All these things can provide you with joy. But once this joy fades, once your Lamborghini is not so new anymore, your perfect house doesn't have the new house smell anymore, you're back to where you began. So my view is that happiness needs to be built up over time, and it needs to come from within. Once you're able to build it up and take a step back from your life and look at it through a holistic lens at everything and be content with all that you've accomplished, the person that you are and all that you will accomplish, then that's what happiness is. And the best way to begin by doing that is to start by living for yourself. Because you are your most important person, so why are you letting other people dictate how you should live? And to summarize this all, what I learned in life is that you need to be your own person, because once again, you are your own person, so why are you letting other people dictate how you should live? Thank you.